Hi guys, and thanks for watching our update on August 2nd, 2023. So as ever, looking at the satellite window and radar, we can see that we have an area of low pressure centred right now over the North Sea, and we're currently bringing in a northerly flow across the island, and we'll have quite a short trip tomorrow especially. The satellite imagery shows that we got quite the legacy of cloud from this low system, and that means that tomorrow will be quite a cloudy day. And to the east, we have this arcing front, this pivot of clouds and a few spots of rain, and that was across Ireland this morning and afternoon, especially in the east of the country, and that more eastern areas, a very drab, cloudy day with some rain and drizzle. Now, one thing I noticed was that south of Greystones, pretty much, on the east coast, it was dry, and that's because the winds from the Irish Sea brought drizzle and rain in over Dublin, like Meath, down towards North Wicklow. But as it hit the mountains, it dried up completely, so it's actually dry, no rain at all for some areas like Gorey, for example. But a few showers did form towards Westwood this evening, and they're actually shown on the radar here, dying off. And they were pretty much over the Midlands today, in this sort of swathe from West Leinster down towards East Munster and East Connacht partly today. So quite nice scenery there actually in and around Athlone. Quite nice dusks there with sunsets. That's quite nice, isn't it, guys? So the UKV 5-day forecast shows severe showers, heaviest again in West Leinster and East Munster, gradually sinking away to the south this evening. That they leave quite a cloudy night, with a few showers peppering the north coast and parts of the west coast as well, into the morning hours, into the small hours of the morning. Into tomorrow, we see a largely cloudy day from the start, with some showers, most frequent across the Midlands. I think with this, it's not reacting to my, I don't know why, but it's not reacting to my, it's not reacting to the hover on my cursor. So if we refresh the page, you know what? We'll just do this the hard way then. We will type it back up. I don't know why it's something. We will type it back up. Just bear with me. Sorry about that. Chart viewer, UKV. Please work. So we were at tomorrow morning. We don't want this. Thank you. And no thank you ads. Sorry about that. Tomorrow morning. Okay, here we go. Finally, showers most frequent across the Midlands. I think also into northern areas of also especially, and it will gradually just brighten up from the west through the evening. So by late evening, decent sunshine country-wise by 8 p.m. or so. Look at that, lovely end of the day. The northerly winds will make things quite chilly tomorrow. Into Friday, we see a high cloud moving in early on, engulfing the country, and that's ahead of a wall of rain from a forming area of low pressure. You can see there Saturday, big wall of rain, very heavy bursts there, especially there over Connacht there, and they do move eastwards of the country, so a very wet spell there, and we need to possibly. Now that could be quite a stormy feature, especially for the UK actually, but also for the south of Ireland especially. Saturday sees showers on a stiff northwesterly breeze, and into Sunday morning, the showers sort of die off, and we go quite dry, quite decent, before showers from again on Sunday afternoon. Heaviest and most frequent in the east and north of the country, and an area of high pressure will just will ridge up on Sunday evening, so it'll go drier. And into Monday, we see this next area of rain, quite light and patchy, but it could be heavier, I think. Temperature forecast from this model shows this. So if you get rid of this advert, you can see high teens widely, coolest though across the east, especially over Wicklow. Constant wind from the Irish Sea, cloud, drizzle, not nice. Into Thursday, low temperatures tonight to reach the low teens very widely. Mildest in the south there, coolest in the north. Into Thursday even, temperatures rise to the mid-teens in the north. Very cool on the north coast, exposed to that northerly breeze. Further south though, it should be a lot warmer with higher temperatures towards 17 degrees widely, 18 or 19 on the very far south coast. Into Thursday to Friday morning, we see lower temperatures in the south, dropping down towards like 9-10 degrees, further north 10 to 12. Possibly a bit cooler there across Antrim and down. Into Friday, and we sort of see it warming up briefly in the east before the rain and cloud moves to the west later in the day. So temperatures could get up towards the high teens in the east, but further west, mid-teens, and on the west coast, low teens. With that rain wind moving in. Quite chilly there actually, Friday night and Saturday, despite that cloud and rain. So we do get a warm section moving through there in Saturday morning. So starting off quite cool over the north and east, 10 to 12, but getting milder from the southwest, 13 to 15 degrees, and that mild swith gradually pushes eastwards, and the cold front moves through Saturday morning and clears that away. And Saturday sees temperatures of 17, 18 degrees quite widely, though in the north, quite cool, mid-teens to low teens, and over Antrim, especially cool there, possibly 12 degrees over the highlands there. Into Sunday morning, lowest temperatures reach 9 degrees over parts of Ulster, down up towards 11 degrees in parts of Ulster as well. Elsewhere, widely 11 degrees, a bit milder there on the west coast. Into Sunday afternoon, eastern coastal areas and wide areas of the south, we'll see temperatures getting up towards 19-20 degrees. Cooler towards the coastal areas of the northwest, mid-teens, and in between you got a wide area of 17 degrees. Into Monday, cool sway there in the south and southeast, 8 to 10. Also over Ulster, same values. Elsewhere, 10 to 13. Mildest over Galway, I think. And into Monday, with that next area of rain moving in, quite bleak. Only reaching the high teens on the east coast, far east coast. Elsewhere, mid-teens, low teens in the northwest and over parts of the southwest. Also, just looking at the wind speeds, it's in miles per hour, but I'll do my best to interpret it to kmph. So the reason we're looking at this is that we've got this deep low moving in on Friday evening. So Friday evening, wind gusts reaching like 40 miles an hour on the west coast. That's about 68 kilometers per hour, I think, around that sort of level. And into Saturday morning, look at that, very windy on the east coast actually. It could get up to 60 to 70 miles an hour locally there across the southeast there, around Enniscorthy. That's like sort of like 90 something kilometers per hour to 112 kilometers per hour. I think it's 70 miles an hour. So in between about 96 and 112 an hour, I think that is sort of like the sort of range we're looking at. So that would definitely warrant a yellow warning with that. And that very strong area of winds pushes towards Wales and the southwest of England. So very windy there, and pushes into the wildly over the south of England. Very windy there on Saturday. So that's one to watch. And that's not really. So the NAO index observed and GFS forecasters is looking at this. So we can see that the NAO is now just very slightly under neutral. It will go towards neutral there tomorrow and take a steep plummet to a very strongly negative level. So it shows that blocking around Green Iceland will intensify before it rises towards some some very slightly less negative territory. So the Azores side is still quite far away, I think, if it's correct, and low pressure very active towards the northwest. But that may not be correct for a brief period into let's say late August. So what am I talking about? Around August 10th, we could see something dry and warmer briefly. So this is a GFS 12 run. Start low pressure clearing today, hover. See that low clearing away today and tomorrow, followed by cool winds tomorrow, 3 showers around, quite cloudy. Brief ridge on Friday, followed by that deepening low on Saturday. That looks quite severe, okay? Quite severe into Saturday morning. Really quite severe. So I think that's one to watch. Do keep an eye on that low pressure. Looks quite bad. Looks quite bad for summertime. Into Sunday, we see a brief ridge from the south that should help to minimize shower activity. Into Monday, we see that next low moving in combination with a strong blocking around Greenland, hence that negative NAO signal. To Wednesday, the Azores side to the south, intensifies and actually ridges up towards us from the south, and we end up with a southerly flow by Thursday, August 10th. So warming up there, but with a thundery low to the west, I think it will very quickly break down into storms. But actually, a high pressure system towards the north stays there, and we prolong the southeasterly flow. And with this thundery low there, we can see day after day after day of thunderstorms before the low actually moves eastwards and pulls down northerly winds into August 18th. So, but this is also looking quite ridgy still. So who knows? And that low pressure is well away towards Canada by then. This is the ECM WF run. So you can see that low pressure clearing away today. Tomorrow we'll see northerly winds. Brief ridge over Friday, drying things up, but that's only ahead of that deep low moving in on Saturday. It clears away. Sunday could be dry into Monday as well, but next low does roll in, as we know, into Tuesday, Monday night Tuesday. So that goes wet, windy. Again, the Azores side does come up into the latter part of next week. Look at that southerly flow. So it is warmer, but then the confront moves through, possibly involving storms, clearing the heat away. But the Azores side is still looking ridgy. Can it possibly come back up again, giving us another hot spell? I think it's starting to get a bit more interesting. The Quebec run showing a northerly wind there. Friday, brief ridge on Saturday, deep low Sunday. We keep going. Showery winds on Sunday actually. A ridge there Sunday night Monday. Low pressure coming back in Monday. Tuesday as well. This is also looking like it's getting prepared to do something interesting on Wednesday. The GM. Let's look at this. So the gem is, I don't want that. Hang on, sorry. Okay, so the low pressure moving away today, northerly winds tomorrow, deep low there Saturday. That low is further south though, so not so strong with the winds with that one, but heavy with the rain. Dry Sunday, Monday, before into Tuesday, Wednesday. That the Azores gets going again. A southerly flow gets going by Thursday. Very hot with that, humid as well. But that low to our west will give thunderstorms imminently. As it is so close. Humidity as well. Northerly winds Thursday, ridge Friday, big storm Saturday, dry Sunday, Monday, before we go back into this westerly phase on Tuesday, before the Azores looks ridgy on Thursday. That's the Icon run. And finally the Arpège. Let's look at this, see what it shows us. So that northerly wind tomorrow, briefly dry Friday, Saturday sees that deep storm, and showery Sunday, dry Monday. So just before we go, I think we'll look at the winds from the ECM, the wind gusts from the ECM. We do KMH, so we just click that. Okay, so we're looking at Saturday's weather. So if it's paused there about 9 a.m.-ish, so very strong winds off the west coast, up towards 100 an hour, or around 90 to 100 an hour, and those gusty push eastwards. So Saturday is one to watch, guys. I don't know, could be a bit stormy, but it can still change. It's still 3 days away, but well, for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.